My name is Bill Mullen, agronomist for Seed Consultants. I'm up here with Andy Eubank up here in north central Indiana, Miami County. We just got out of the cornfield. We're back in the soybean field here. And probably the first soybean field we've been at that is Liberty Link. In the past, most of this has been glyphosate tolerant soybeans. It's done very good. We're seeing a lot more of our customers, be it for yield or be it for any weed issues that we're going in where they're post-spraying with the Liberty or the Ignite to take care of the problem. Our lineup for Liberty Link has been getting better over the years. This one here, yes, is a 4-1, 34-16s, do well in our variable soils. And you can see we're in 30-inch rows and we're getting a real nice bush. We're getting real good canopy or so in there. We're getting close to the point of closing off in that, all right? Not much insect or disease issues here with this variety. The one thing is with our Liberty Links is that we do have very good for cyst nematode resistance. We have very good against sudden death, brown stem rot, and frog eye. Most of our varieties do have either RPS1C Pacific gene or RPS1K against phytophthora root rot with good field tolerance. So really good agronomics. And then the thing too is the yield. The yield of Liberty Links every year just been getting so much better than that. So with looking at these right now, and I just got a couple plants here, as you can see, our roots developed really nice in that. Okay, we've got good nodulation here, all right? But then the interesting thing about this variety here is our nodes are so close together. They potted almost all the way to the tip there, all right? Getting some clusters up there. So we know it has that high yield potential for yield up here. So, you know, these Liberty Link varieties have done well. The customers think this is the first year he's planting with this variety, and he is pleased in that. So in the coming years, we're gonna see more people, you know, probably look at the Liberty Links for looking for comparative yield or looking for trying to control some weed issues where with the Roundup might not control that, and we have that as an option. And every year our yields are getting a little better. This year we're offering a new 2.8 3287s, a real nice. In the coming, for this year it might be another 3.2 3327s. We also have one called 3357s and 3374. So really, we spread our maturity out all the way from a 2.8 to a 4.1 with good agronomics, but the bottom line is good yield. And for a system there that has given us good weed control as well. Jack Spalding, who's district sales manager right now, is cleaning up the roots for the 1125, and we've already done this 1094 here. Purpose today is to look at field of corn, look at the beans, see where we're at for July 26th and that. Okay, as far as are we seeing any stress out here on the corn plants? Are we seeing any diseases out here? Okay, how good's the plant looking right now? You can see over here in the back of me, there's a lot of greenness to the yard, to the roadside ditches and that. You know, they've had rains when they need them that they keep this crop going and progressing as good as it is. This is a plant, it's 1094, and 1094 is a real nice 109-day hybrid. It's our Aquamax hybrid. Basically, it's a drought-tolerant type hybrid from tossing time all the way to maturity in that. All right, it's going to take the stress conditions real well in that, and it's really ideal for this area up here in Indiana, this north central Indiana. One thing I'm going to point out is we are seeing some gray leaf spot. These are short rectangular lesions that are on the ear leaf or on the leaves of the corn plant, pretty much down below where we're at here. So, you know, really it's the second leaf above the stalk, some on the third, a little bit on the fourth. Here we're seeing a little bit more on the fifth, okay? But then as we start going up there, it gets to be less than that. Our ear leaf here shows a little occasionally, but that's good. And we want to try to keep the disease out here, if anything, from spreading. If the conditions are right, we want to keep it down on the bottom leaves of the corn plant. The two diseases this year been looking at is gray leaf spot and northern corn leaf blight. We get up in this area here, there's a chance of maybe some goss as well. I haven't seen any, but for the most part, compared to last year, we don't have the diseases that we had compared to last year, especially northern corn leaf blight, which I've come to find in many stops here in Indiana this year. I don't find that much northern corn leaf blight. Oh, I'll see some gray leaf spot, but nothing to the point that even required a fungicide to be flown on, okay? This hybrid 1094 does have average tolerance to a gray leaf spot, and as you could tell, there's still some here on the leaves, but for the most part, it's nothing that's gonna hurt the plant. It hasn't advanced up the plant like where we'll do the most damage to a hybrid later on in that. Because all these diseases, basically, as they go up the plant above the ear leaf, they basically take out those leaves, and the leaves are capturing the sunlight. So, you know, and that's where we're trying to, our food plants for the ear later on as well in that. So, you know, right now, there is no disease. This is healthy. It's medium ear height in that. It's a really nice plant. It does have a little bit of height to it. But we get down here and we start looking at the stalks and that, or looking at the roots and how good a root formation is. Yes, you can see we've washed all the dirt off. Look how healthy, you know, these roots are. They're white. And that to me has always been a sign of good, healthy roots in that. We have good nodal root development. All right, and our brace roots have started in that. Our normal early roots in that have gone around the plant. So basically this plant early on started building a good root system, and through the stress time period early on, continued to build a good roots. And now it's going through, and going through some heat conditions here this past week, and starting out this week and that, the plant is still healthy. So we basically have built a good plant early with good root system, a good stalks, you know, and good disease condition to where one with pollinates, and we go in, it's not that far behind, but one does pollinate, we should, in theory, is have very good pollination, because this hybrid does do extremely well and drought type conditions, stress conditions, and at the end puts on big time corn bushels. This is 1125. 1125, it's about 3 days later, a little bit more full season corn for up in this area. But as you can see, it is a lot taller. We have root system as good or better than the 1094. We have healthy leaves here. We don't see as much to the gray leaf spot on 1125 that we saw on the 1094 net. All right, ear height here is just a little bit taller than the 1094, but it's maintained its plant health all the way up there. You know, and the other thing too is it does handle stress conditions up in this north central part of Indiana for a full season corn. One thing too with this hybrid is it's one that has a strong ear flex, so we have a tremendous corn that we can get a lot of yield with, but we don't want to be dropping any more than 30,000, no more than 32,000 kernels per acre because of the strong ear flex. The other thing too is with this corn doing extremely well, just want to make sure we keep the nitrogen up there. It's a demand for nitrogen is very strong, and we need to keep plenty of nitrogen for this plant. So overall, we're looking at two different hybrids. This hybrid here, a little bit on the fuller season side, probably a little bit more strong yield potential. You know, put on a better piece of dirt, but one that's going to yield up here in north central Indiana, along with our 1094. Mullen of Seed Consultants out here in north central Indiana, Miami County, looking at some very nice looking crops, and hopefully we'll see you another 30 days in another part of Indiana.